guess I can talk and scroll at the same time. It's You'll Die Trying, Season 3 of YDT, Episode 179 of a show which pulls back the curtain, takes down walls, brick by brick, exposing the hearts of those caring for those. And I always am thinking about how this show is just constantly evolving. It starts with 2, and then it's 1, and then it's funeral stories, and now it's funeral stories and music, and then there's more music, and then now you all are a bunch of creeps, and you all love true crime, and so all of you all are sharing all these ghost stories, and it's whatever I want it to be, really, because it's my real estate. And that is one of the best lessons I feel I learned at the very, very end of 2023. In December, I follow Gary Vee, and you are like the company you keep. Keep that in mind, even if it's digital company, even if you haven't met the people in the world like Gary Vee or whoever it is you follow, whatever shows you watch, you are like them. If you ingest shit, I got to chill. That's the first one. Normally I get chills only at Bonus Noise, which is available for subscribers only. Click the link in the description and subscribe. $4.99 a month, exclusive content, by the way. I get chills all the time when I record those. If you ingest shit, you will be, I don't want to say you'll be shit, but you'll be more likely to be exposing yourself to being a crappy person, maybe. Nonetheless, he said this. He was talking about how haters coming into his space, he's like, you're on my page, you're in my network. Essentially, you come into my house, you come into my real estate, you don't even take your damn shoes off, and you're slinging dirt? Who the hell do you think you are? And I was like, yeah, absolutely. So without further ado, you're here because you connect with me and I meet you here, and I am honored, and I can put out whatever it is I want to put out. So it could be 2, it could be 1, it could be crime, it could be whatever I want it to be. It could be me talking in this very sensual voice because I have a sore throat because I had the flu, probably. No thanks to my sister-in-law, Hayden, who said, we are no longer contagious. Yeah, right, said the person who gave me a really, really bad flu. But it's Rowan, my nephew. I love him. He's super sweet. Nonetheless, it's you. It is me. I'm glad you're here. That was 2023's takeaway. We're not skipping a beat at 2024. It is filling up quickly. There's so much to be excited about. The single releases to radio January the 8th. Last time, I would sing it right there, but my voice can't. It's like it's the last, like it's the last time, like it's the last time I can do it. But it's okay. I'm excited that so many of you have been supporting, and I'm excited that Gatorade Entertainment and Sony The Orchard are distributing this one. January the 11th, it comes out. January the 8th, mark your calendars. I'm scrolling, by the way, still to find this, because I'm going to read this, because this was a really good story shared with me, and I got permission from this person on the TikTok. Be sure to follow me on all the socials. And shut the hell up, Nathan. Let's go. One thing I can say for sure is that death makes us either bitter or better. It doesn't make us one or the other. I mean, it doesn't make us a mix of either. It's one or the other. It makes us do some silly things. It makes us connected in the most profound way. It's a beautiful means for us to feel a part of a community in the most odd way. It's not like I welcome it. It's not like I'm like, yay, death, yay, grief. But if we are to experience grief and sadness and heaviness, then maybe, just maybe, we're able to sympathize, empathize, speak to the heart of authentic, I'm a human, I'm experiencing this heaviness, this sucks so bad, parts of us that we tend to kind of mask or cover up. And I am grateful to be able to meet so many people. It has been insanely overwhelming. And that's why it's taken me so damn long, because I'm scrolling and scrolling and scrolling to find this story that I was like, can I please share this? Here we go. It's from someone named Holly. who I will just give the first name. They've been a follower on TikTok at Nathan Morris Music. And what I was saying before we went to the little musical interlude Jubity Jew is that I wanted to make sure you follow me on all the socials. And thanks for all the support, not only on TikTok with subscribers only, but of course this podcast, Bonus Noise, releasing every week. It's more intimate, authentic. It's like reading pages from the journal that I have. I write in the morning and the evening. It's very important to get your thoughts out, get it out of your brain, out of your heart. Muck is hard to carry on your own. So if you don't necessarily want to talk about it, you just write it. Well, I kind of water it down a little bit because there's still some things of myself that I don't want to give all of myself away. So I like to keep some. But I would love for you to check that out. Releases every week. And speaking of, I will be recording an episode of that very, very soon. It's a great thing for me to be able to have this. Because one day, maybe when I'm not here anymore, people who really love me and know me can look back and listen back, whatever. But I'm grateful for all the support. $4.99 a month. All right, hopefully my voice will hold tight, and I want to read this. This is from Holly. She shares at the She Shed this story, and this is her telling it. I'm reading it, so this is what it says. I just had gotten back from a trip to visit my dad, and we unloaded our car. Me, my husband, and our son. My husband and my son ended up leaving to go to the gas station, so I was home alone. While I was unpacking our bags and putting things in their places, from the opposite side of our living room wall was an empty room that we never used. Nobody was home. It was just myself, and suddenly, out of nowhere and complete silence, there were 3 loud bangs on this wall that separated the living room from the room that we never used. I walked in there, and there was nothing. Nothing had fallen. Nobody was there. Just me, and then the 3 loud bangs. Another time, after I had just given birth to our youngest son, he had woken up, so I was getting ready to feed him. After I had gotten done feeding the little one, I put the water bottle that my husband and I had used to fill up water from one of the water dispensers that was downstairs. Normally, we put this on the stove that was right underneath the light to indicate to each other that it needed refilled. After I had gone back to bed a few minutes later, I heard a clicking sound, so I got up and made sure that our oldest son was still in bed. My husband was definitely asleep when I got up, and our oldest son was tucked in bed, fast asleep himself. I walked into the kitchen to investigate some more, and that water bottle had been thrown into the sink from where I'd set it on the stove, which was roughly 6 feet from the sink. No explanation. Nobody was up. Nothing happened to that water bottle to get thrown into the sink. I might mention that it was the funeral home that we lived in. We occupied the upstairs, which of course was the apartment. Now you know. Ever since, I've been fascinated by the paranormal since childhood. Very interesting. And it's also very interesting because a lot of the stories that I had living above a funeral home is what I stumbled upon, and I'm trying to track down the owners before I share too much, because there is some very eerie similarities, similar in age, a female now, however. The owners of the funeral home in Kentucky, this individual no longer is in the profession. The parents still own the funeral home in Kentucky. I really want to track this down. You'll notice that the funeral podcast talking about death and dying and grief and sadness and heaviness and all that, like all of you all are crazy weirdos and you love the true crime stuff. True crime podcasts, Joe Rogan talking about UFOs not existing, but now the government says they exist, so they exist. But because you read something before all this, you think that it's real and true. Hint, hint, not that it is real and true, but you read it and you believe it instead of just digging. Nonetheless, I like true crime. I like podcasts. I'm talking about ghosts and podcasts and true crime and all of that because this is my real estate. Take your shoes off, right? Holly, I appreciate the story. Everybody, be sure to follow me on TikTok at Nathan Morris Music. If you have a ghost story, I have tons of them. That was just one I wanted to share. Be sure to write it to me. Give me that story and say, sure, use this, and then I'll use it. But until you write it and say, yeah, you have permission to use it, I'm not going to because it's gotten too big and I don't want somebody to say, you are so mean. You use this without my permission. I just shared that with you because I didn't want you to share with anybody else. I don't know. I appreciate your support. As always, each and every one of these podcasts could be streamed and you can watch it wherever it is you stream podcasts, of course, or on YouTube at Nathan Morris Music, which, by the way, be sure to subscribe over there and click the bell to be notified because you can watch this and every other podcast. And be sure to subscribe to Bonus Noise, $4.99 a month. I need a break. My voice needs a break. Happy 2024. It's going to be a hell of a year. January 8th, coming to you and radio. Okay, I really am done. Thanks for all that you offer this life. You're loved far more than you could ever know. And I will see you around the river bend at 1-8 in a world. Damn my face.